Legends, when this book was printed, he got the one last night as well. So he's sitting on 10 for the meet. I'll take the 2, Jodyman AA, as my top choice here. I mean, and the horse put together 2 back-to-back fairly decent races, second in both of them. The most recent one coming right out here at this distance on our track. I like that. RB Bestsetter is going to be my second choice. I mean, this horse was in the Texas Lone Star Juvenile 2-back. Ran 5th in that race. Was beaten last time out as well. But when this horse, his second start of his career, first start at this track, I mean, ran a solid second. So something to look at there. And then for a third pick, I went with number 4, QMR Rebecca Landry. This horse finished 3rd on our track, 2 starts back. That's pretty much where I'm giving this horse a nod right here.
I'm on Jodyman AA as well. I mean, he breaks on top basically every time. He has more speed than RB Bester. You have a 4-year-old gelding against a 3-year-old filly in better form than RB Bester. I mean, RB Bester certainly has run a couple of races that put her in here, but I'm all Jodyman AA as well. I'm going to throw a third pick to Thoroughly Uptown, number 5, second-time starter. Didn't do a whole lot for a trainer that's been good with Arabians. Carlos Padilla ran way up the track in his debut, but was 12-1 that day, so took a little bit of action and could run better today. Second race features Paints and Appaloosas. This is an allowance event for non-winners of 3. 350 the distance, 1 scratch, number 8, DTL Hot Lips. I wound up with a coin flip between the 2 and not literally not a coin flip, but I was hard-pressed to pick between the 2 and the 7, and we end up with them in the same order.
Yeah, so 2, Chick's Prize. I mean, this horse has been right up there all year long pretty much. Out of the 8 starts this year, I mean, he's picked up a win, 4 seconds, and a third-place finish. So 6 out of 8 this horse has hit the board, including the most recent race, which was right out here. That was a second by a head. Now, Chick's Prize, I mean, this horse was a winner, 3-back, and like I said, has been up there close in most every race. Has 2 seconds at this 350-yard distance. That's my horse in race number 2. Paint Him a Vision, logical second choice here for me. I mean, this horse was a winner last time out at this distance right here at Lone Star Park. Putting all those things together, I mean, I think this horse is going to have another decent run tonight. And then I got the 6, Hot Flash H, as my third choice. A couple fifths in a row. The most recent one was in a stakes race up at Will Rogers Downs. If you take a look to the first time that this horse stepped foot on our track this year, was a winner. That was a non-winners of 2 allowance at 330. So another 20 yards shouldn't be too much for Hot Flash H. I think this horse gets up in the money tonight.
Yeah, I've got him third as well. What made it close for me between Chick's Prize and Paint Him a Vision is Paint Him a Vision just beat Chick's Prize. Now, it was ahead officially, but it was one of those tricky-looking heads that, I mean, when you watch the pan shot, you're sure it's a nose, but it was a head. The margins are determined by the photo finish and by time and all that. The margins at the photo finish are not a judgment call like the other margins. Chick's Prize just missed by a zop in that last race, but Paint Him a Vision did win. So I'm hoping that Chick's Prize can turn the tables. I think I'd rather be in the 2-hole than the 7-hole, although there's no reason to obsess about post positions necessarily. We've seen horses winning from everywhere. The other thing about Paint Him a Vision, he's been more experienced lately against winners. He's run a lot more races against winners than Chick's Prize, but Chick's Prize is ultra consistent from a barn. D. Keener, who's the king of paints and apps up in Oklahoma. Michael Moss, though, is off to a really good start here with paints and apps, so I'm going to go 2-7 as well. Third race starts to pick 4 tonight on this 11-race card. There are no scratches out of this one. These are 2-year-old non-winners of 2.
Yeah, so give me the 3, Return My Corona here in this spot. This horse was a winner last time out, had a good finish. That was at 250 yards, so going a little bit further today. But if you look at the 2 races before that one, both of those at 350 at Ruidoso Downs, ran well in the Futurity trial out there, finishing second, missing about 3/4 of a length. Ran in the Juvenile Challenge there at Ruidoso as well. Finished third in that one, or across the finish line third, beaten by half a length. But, I mean, look at the winner of that one, One Perfect Lady. We saw that horse come out here and win the Dash for Cash Futurity this year. So a pretty good race there. And then, like I said, moving here in that most recent one and picking up the win. I think Return My Corona gets the job done once again tonight. Number 5, Durant. That's going to be my second choice here. 8-1 morning line on this horse. Two starts, both of them coming on our track. The first one, if you look at the comments, wiped out at the start. Well, that's not good, right? And then the most recent one, this horse finally got to run, broke out of the gates fairly well. It says ducked in at the start, but still broke on top, led it all the way down the racetrack for a win by a neck. That was at 250 yards. So we're going to see if this horse can't go a little bit further tonight. But after that last race, seeing the horse handle all the other ones in that race, I think Durant might be one worth a shot tonight. And then number 6, Keep On Feeling, is going to be my third choice here. Out of the 4 races for this one, has crossed that finish line. Second 2 of those 4 starts. The most recent one ended up being elevated to first by the stewards. That was out here on our track. So, I mean, you got to like those things. I mean, the horse had a lead at one point in that race. Keep On Feeling is going to be my third choice here.
You know, I'm with Return My Corona as well. I think that was an amazing win last time. The margin was only ahead, but it was a super strong performance. And so I'm going to take him right back. I'm intrigued, though, by the other horses behind our top pick. Jessup PYC Dash, you know, I do some Equibase, a little bit at Remington filling in. I know how hard a job it is, and quarter horse Equibase charters work by themselves. You're under a lot of pressure to crank those charts out. But the chart for Jessup PYC Dash on November 18th, race 10, I have a lot of issues with it. I recommend if you're at home or if you're wagering off an app or a computer, watch the replay of the Evangeline Downs trial on November 18th. I mean, this horse got off really, really slow. I just don't know how they could say this horse broke second. I mean, I had the horse breaking last, basically. Never got near the lead. But anyway, so I think that was a good effort considering the horse got away really slowly. So I'm going to take that one second. And Curvy, number 2, gets a shorter race, drops out of the Texas Classic Trials, had to face Fancy Scarface and Pink Kiss last time. That was an impossible task. One thing I wanted to point out, I didn't pick this horse. Now I kind of wish I had. But KVN Master, the 7, very poor chart on November 18th, a different trial at Evangeline for that guy as well. Broke dead last, was in a race with the 5th and 7th qualifiers. So that was a tough heat. So that horse was dead last every jump in that race last time out, KVN Master. And I point that out only because I think you can throw that race out for that horse and look back to some earlier ones. Not because I like to beat up on chart callers, because I've done it myself and I know how hard a job it is. On to the 4th. Tough race here. 300 yards, maiden special weights. Scratch the 7, Tempting Eye. This was the horse that was entered for non-winners of 3 last night. Scratched. I was going to pick against him last night, and I said I'm going to pick against him here. You know, I had him picked second in this spot, but I was on a long shot from the get-go. Game, recognized game. I like the name, and I'm going to take a shot with him.
All right,
It's been difficult taking shots lately. I mean, we're at 44.9% winners on the meet, but I'm going to take game, recognized game, and Tempting Eye we don't have to worry about.
Yeah, so I got pronounced the 6th Mesquitero. I was thinking mesquite, like mesquite trees and stuff, but the R threw me off a little bit.
Right.
Mesquitero, number 6 here. That's going to be my top choice. Last 2 races for this horse, both of them came out on our track out here. Horse ran fairly well in both of them. Missed last time by 1 length. That was at 250 yards. The race before that at 300, like we're going tonight, finished second, missing by a neck in that one. So those last 2 races both of them have been fairly good for Mesquitero. I'll take the horse on top here. Number 4, Jingo, is going to be my second selection. A lot of starts for this horse. Has run 8 different times in his life. Has a second and a third to show for it. That third came 2 starts back at this distance on our track. I'll go ahead and give Jingo the benefit of the doubt here. And then I got the 2 Rays Flying Agouti as my third pick here. Had a second last time, missing by a nose in that race. But, you know, the races before that, none of them impressed me very much. So
that's a polite way to put it.
Yeah.
That's
got
why
him picked third.
That's why I have him down there fourth. I mean, his last race was phenomenal in every respect, but where'd that come from?
Right, it's just out of nowhere it seemed like. But
and I don't like horses that throw in fluky races. They can sometimes come right back and win, especially lately when favorites have been dominant. But yeah, I'm picking against him too. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's it. That's all I got
yeah.
about Ray's Flying Agouti right there.
I thought this race was so wide open, and I thought Tempting Eye was vulnerable, and then he scratched. That's why I went with Game Recognized Game. These connections won a race last night. Mario Hernandez, Brian Candanosa. Candanosa had a nice night last night. Game Recognized Game debuted around Memorial Day weekend at Remington. Was 12-1, broke in the air, had no chance in what was a tough maiden event. Came back here October 8th. Step slow, altered course. If a quarter horse has to alter course, except for War Admiral, that was a really nice winner last night after altering course in the race before, except for those rare once or twice a meet things, if a horse has to alter course in this sport, they're done at any short distance. And so I think maybe Game Recognized Game might finally put it together against a field that might be beatable. So I'm going to take him, hopefully at a price. El Albioncito, the 5, is the horse that I scratch into for second. Only because the trainer is 21% this year. Edgar Espino hasn't started many horses here, but he's won 10 races this year in 48 tries as of when I handicapped. Bogart's been firing off good runners. The stallion Bogart. Damn side on this colt is really nondescript, to say the least. I'm going to take him second over Jingo. Fifth race. Texas bred maiden claiming 2-year-olds, 400 yards. These are all dropping. They're basically all hitting the bottom levels.
Yeah, I got number 1, DD Mr. Bob is my pick here. Starting from the inside rail, last 2 times this horse has had a couple decent races in a row. Missed last time by a head. The time before that was a third-place finish, missing by half a length. Both of them right out here at Lone Star Park. I think it could set up well for DD Mr. Bob. The 6 is going to be my second choice. That's DM Fire on the Mountain. This horse has had 2 starts at Sam Houston, one of them out here. Didn't show much in any of those starts, really. Last time bobbled a little bit. But making that drop down here for the $7,500 tag, I think it's gonna be a better level for DM Fire on the Mountain. And then number 9, Eagle Shot, my third pick. Last time out was in a maiden claiming race out here at this 400-yard distance. Ended up running 6 of 9 in that race. So has exchanged some bumps at the start. It's never a good thing. But if you look at the race before that at 350, was a solid 4th place, missing by 3/4 of a length, coming in behind my top choice, DD Mr. Bob there.
Yeah, and speaking of Eagle Shot, I've mentioned this on earlier shows. His race 2 races ago was charted by a fill-in, and I disagreed strongly with the chart that night because this horse got squeezed and bumped hard. And I think we might have even shown – we didn't show video, but I talked about it. And I picked the horse the next time out, and he was ice cold on the board, 10-1, and didn't really run a jump. So I'm going back to him here because I think the favorite might be vulnerable, and he's going to be a super short price for what he is. So I'm taking Eagle Shot over DD Mr. Bob, who's stretching out. He's never been 400 before. And his last race was excellent, but the horse that beat him, I Lost My Freaking Drink, came back last Saturday and ran about 4 steps. So that was that race where Brian Stroud had 2 in there, and I think they run a race for last. And they were both heavily bet. So I'm going to predict that was not a good race. We'll see. So I'm going to go 9-1-6. On to the 6th. Look out for Tudor Jordan in this one. Tudor is loaded for bear in this one. Scratch the 1, VP Prize Time Dash. Scratch the 6, Feather Bacall. This is a start of the pick 6 tonight, maiden claiming 2-year-old fillies.
Yes, I'm on the 3 cooking here. A good second last time out right here at Lone Star at the same distance. I think this horse can have a good run here tonight, being in for that tag once again at 12-5. Number 9, Bad Corona Summer, is going to be my second choice, coming in off a second as well. That was back in August at Rotama Parks. This horse has had some time off. Has picked up a workout since then. So he had a little maintenance work there for getting back on the track. Bad Corona Summer at some big odds. Could run decent here. And then I got number 2, Front Class Runner, as my third choice. This horse is coming out of a couple maiden races, coming into this race for a tag for the first time. Went 350 in both of those races, so we'll see if the class relief doesn't help out front class runner here.
You know, I think Cookin just towers over them. We're all picking her. You know, there's absolutely nothing really not to like about her. She's taken a drop, or at least staying at the same level after dropping the time before. She looks, you know, her basic numbers look unbeatable. I went with Eagle Brand as a second pick. The 8 here needs to get away well. Basically walked out of the gate 2 starts ago. Last time bobbled at the start and was bumped. You know, I think if Eagle Brand ever gets out of there okay, she might be able to contend, but that's a big if. And then Princess Oki is my third pick. Again, I'm on the Hilario Hernandez bandwagon. Francisco Calderon rides this 20-1 shot on the morning line. He's the leading rider. She comes out of that race with the dead heat for win and one significant hero who ran last night and won. And she didn't do much running in that race, but I think this is an easier spot. Race 7 begins the pick 5. Scratch the 1, Donna Felix, and the 9, R.W. Coolman, or Coolman. I think it's Coolman, probably. Maiden claiming 3-year-olds and up in for $62.50, and they're going just $250.
Yeah, so, you know, Jim, I'll tell you, I didn't really like any of the horses here in this one.
We got the same
one.
Oh,
did we really? We both went with the first time starter.
How about that?
All right, yeah. So we probably had about the same thoughts on this race.
I didn't care for the returners.
I mean, Stolen Corona's the 5-horse. You know, this is the 2-1 morning line favorite. But, you know, this horse has tried 17 different times.
Yeah. Many of them in the basement, too. Many of them for $5,000.
Yeah, I was going through this list and just looking at these horses, and, I mean, lifetime earnings, $100, $300, you know, and they've all had a few races under their belt. So
yeah.
I said I'll go with the first-time starter here, try to beat some of these other ones. I mean, none of them have really showed much. So this is a perfect spot where I like to take first-time starters.
Exactly.
The 7, Roja Rita, that's going to be my second choice.
Me too.
We
both knocked Stolen Coronas right down to third. Like, don't even settle for taking the favorite second and maybe scratching into her. If somebody scratches, just say, forget it. I'm putting the horse third.
I can't believe we ended up on the same top 4
here
in race 7.
That is pretty amazing.
But Roja Rita, you know, this is a horse I remember I picked last time out. I was worried about coming off that layoff from 2019 to having to start out here. Ended up running fourth in that race. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But, you know, the horse kind of faded as the race got longer. That was at 350, so we're cutting it down to 250 today. That second start after that long layoff, Roja Rita could get up there and have a decent run. And then number 5, Stolen Corona's the third choice here. One of the few horses that's been able to hit the board a couple times in her career. So we'll see if Stolen Corona's, with all that experience, doesn't show off to at least get up and earn a little bit of a check tonight.
Yeah, I mean, she has earned a check or two. Sometimes it's for 4th and 5th, but so yeah, I have the same pick, same order. Not much more to discuss there. So let's advance to the 8th race, the start of the late pick 4. We've got 2 scratches out of this one. The 1, Mint Cookie Cutter, and the 4, Lil Black Rooster. These are maiden claimers, 3 and up, going $350.
So I'm on number 3 here, Pecos River Queen. All right, so this horse has a 3-1 morning line. Has run 6 different times in her career. You know, the very first start was probably the best race for this horse, finishing 3rd in that one. But the most recent race, which came out here at Lone Star Park, a 4th, missing by a length and a quarter. Now, what I like about Pecos Queen is this is the first time that this horse has been in a race for a claiming tag. So a little bit of class relief should help out this horse. Bradley Bolin, the trainer, he's been sending out some winners all meet long. I mean,
yeah.
I think he had one, I want to say last night. I think he had a winner last night. So that puts him at 10 for the meet out of 41, 42 starts. So not a bad percentage there. I think this horse can get the job done here tonight. Number 8, Cannon's Fury, is going to be my second choice. You know, this horse ran back-to-back seconds. Those were up there at Will Rogers Downs. One of those things that I haven't seen. To me, it seems like the horses shipping in from Will Rogers Downs haven't been performing the best out here. They've been beaten, but there's some good horses that come from up there. Cannon's Fury, just a little leery about that, but I do have the horse picked second. And then I got the 7, Train Hopping, as my third selection. A second last time out on our track. I mean, was well beaten in that one. Beat by 2.5. That was at 400 yards, so dropping some yardage off, I think is going to help out train hopping and see how this horse does tonight. But I got it 3, 8, and 7 here in race 8.
Yeah, I went 3-8 as well. I mean, I think the drop and being from the hot barn should really help Pecos River Queen in here, and I'm not too concerned about the stretch out because I think she's the best in here. I mean, Cannon's Fury, that last race seems really, really good on paper. That E-Speed figure seems really out of whack with the rest of her numbers, or his numbers. Maybe the track was really fast that day, and he certainly ran a nice race. But, you know, with quarter horses, I'm usually, unless they have a big history at Remington and come from Will Rogers, I'm usually slightly skeptical. Now, the Paints and Apps can be a different story because they run some great Paints and Apps.
Which we'll see that in just another race.
Exactly. And then I took Kiss Me It Hurts, who's Rick Lee's long shot pick in the night. Kiss Me It Hurts has had 2 starts this meet, somewhat spaced apart. Had a lot of trouble last time when well bet at 2-1 at this very same level. So, you know, a better start could put her in there. She has 0 for 11, though. There's a bunch in here that have had a few tries. On to the 9th. The Battle of the Breeds, 870 claiming stakes. These are thoroughbreds and quarter horses mixed. Scratch the 4, Gone Paradise, who does change the complexion ever so slightly. He takes a huge speed element out of this race because thoroughbreds, quarters, whatever, it's hard to beat him to the lead. But he's out, and the 8, JB Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, so I liked Gone Paradise, but with the scratch of this horse, maybe dig in a little bit deeper here. I ended up on number 6. That's SLP Mighty High. You know, this horse won this claiming stakes last year, so he had that going for him. After winning that claiming stakes here last year, you know, ran in some decent races, never really did too much until coming right back here to Lone Star in October. Won a claiming race out here, followed that back up with the trials for this race, ran second by a nose in that one. SLP Mighty High obviously likes it out here at Lone Star Park, having won 7 different races in 16 tries. Has a lot of experience at this distance as well. I'll give this one to that 9-year-old gelding. Second choice, I went with number 5, CJ's Rock Hard and Ready. You know, this is a horse that finished right behind Gone Paradise last time out. 2 starts back, the one out here on October the 1st was a second-place finisher behind a next out winner. A win before that. So, I mean, the horse has been rolling. Definitely has a lot of experience. I mean, 65 lifetime races, has won 13 and has finished second in 16 of them. So, has earned some money, $152,000 for CJ's Rock Hard and Ready. And then I took number 7, Detective Bernardo, one of these thoroughbreds, as my third choice here. Now, the horse did come out and ran pretty nice in that trial race to get into this one, beat my top choice, SLP Mighty High, but did it just by a nose. I think SLP Mighty High just gets him again today. Detective Bernardo third. I got it 6, 5, and 7.
You know, SLP Mighty High's chances really improved with the scratching of Gone Paradise, but I still think he's going to face a lot of front-end pressure. He never got a break at any juncture of that November 12th trial. He was pressured hard the whole way, ran a super race. I thought he was home free, but the closers caught him, or the closer in that case. Other closers were coming, but he held on for second. I'm, though, going to take Cold Snack 30. He's a thoroughbred. So is Beta Capo Song and Detective Bernardo. They're the thoroughbreds. The others are quarter horses in here. Cold Snack 30 left himself way too much to do last time. He fell far back. He was super wide. He switches riders to Ernesto Valdez Jimenez, and he gets a much better post today. He's going to be right inside. I mean, he's not right on the rail, but he's next to it. I think Valdez Jimenez is going to have some interesting decisions to make coming for home, but generally these guys tend to bear out a little on the turn, so hopefully he can get through on the inside and rally and not fall quite so far back. When I originally handicapped this, I thought maybe there'd be just a cooking pace up front, and now I'm not sure. I mean, SLP Mighty High might just slip away and win this wire-to-wire, but I'm going to go 2, 3, 6, and Beta Capo Song, another from Mark Hibden, who trains during our thoroughbred meet here. I'm going to pick the Hibden Exacta here in the Battle of the Breeds. But, you know, if SLP Mighty High going wire to wire wouldn't surprise me. Okay, 2 left to go. 10th race, $20,000 added Olympia Joe Stakes. Paints and Apps at 400 yards.
Yeah, I'm on Just Wishing here in this situation. I mean, this horse has won 3 in a row, 4 out of the last 5 races. I think Just Wishing gets the job done again. Had a lot of experience running and winning. So 4 wins out of 5 starts so far this year. I like it. Queen for Cash, number 1, is going to be my second choice. Another one that's put together back-to-back wins. Interesting thing about this horse, went 870 2 starts back, went 350 last time, and won both of them. So the horse can go long, can go short. Going to go 400 here, where the horse does have a win at this distance. I like Queen for Cash. And then number 5, Secret Livewire, my third choice here. This horse always seems to be finishing in the mix. Has finished in the trifecta in 7 of those 9 starts so far this year. We'll see if he can't get up and hit the board once again.
These are always interesting tests because you get a horse like Just Wishing, who has never campaigned outside Texas. Well, let me say that. I haven't looked all the way down his form to verify that, but he's basically a Texas-based runner against Jay's Running Wire, who's basically, and Queen for Cash, who are Oklahoma breds. And, I shouldn't say this sitting here, but I just think the Oklahoma paint nap racing is a little deeper. Maybe